What if the Garden of Eden really existed somewhere on Earth? Botswana, a land of savanna and desert in southern Africa, is heir to a wealth of wildlife. The region of the Kalahari covers almost the entire country and is a sanctuary for wild animals. From the desert sands to the oasis of a lush delta, the Okavango is the river that never reaches the ocean. It vanishes into the sands of the Kalahari. Botswana, with its 2 million inhabitants, has managed to preserve its magnificent wildlife. This is a safe haven for elephants.
You can't find a more beautiful sight than this, hey? This is paradise.
Someday, Botswana may be their last refuge. Tempe Adams, a young Australian biologist, has been studying African elephants, and for the last 4 years has been living an adventure here in Botswana. Tempe prefers roughing it in the splendor of the bush to the comforts of a laboratory in Sydney. Mogomotsi is flying with Tempe over the Chobe River, where thousands of elephants gather every year. The helicopter allows them to spot the herds that are beginning to move into the northern part of the country.
I first came to Botswana when I was 15 years old. It was a trip with my mum. My mum's always wanted to come here, and it was really exciting, and I completely fell in love. It was amazing. So that was over 10 years ago now, and I just kept thinking of ways that I could end up coming back and doing more work, or actually living, creating a life here and working and living here. From that first trip that we had the most incredible experience with some elephants down in an area called Savannah, and my elephant story started in Botswana. So it just, in a way, just felt completely right for me to come back after that experience. It was a way I wanted to learn more about them, and I was fascinated, completely hooked from that experience.
Botswana is home to the largest elephant population in the world, 130,000, more than a quarter of all of Africa's elephants. Almost everywhere else, elephants are being slaughtered by ivory poachers. In 2014, Botswana became the first African country to outlaw the hunting of all species of animals. Tempe is completing her doctoral thesis in zoology and at the same time working for an NGO, Elephants Without Borders. For 4 years, she has devoted herself to the cohabitation of humans and elephants, which presents certain problems.
Each of these colors represent a different elephant, a GPS satellite-colored elephant. So in each point represents hourly movements, where that elephant was at that specific hour. I'm basically trying to look at ways in which humans and elephants can coexist. So I think it's absolutely possible. With human development, with maintaining the wildlife as it is, I think it's absolutely doable. And that's kind of what I'm exploring, different ways in which we can coexist and getting the human side of the story, but I also very much study all the wildlife that comes into the human areas. And I think it's really promising. My results have been really promising. Like if we can make it work in Botswana, where we have the world's largest population of elephants, then I feel like we really could make it anywhere.
Thanks to her bird's-eye view from the helicopter, Tempe has localized several families of elephants in the Chobe National Park. Now she's tracking them down on the ground. Her first contact is with the solitary male on the riverbank. The elephant doesn't seem too happy about the encounter.
So this is a teenage male. Hello. He's giving us a nice little warning. He's just checking us out. He's saying, "What are you doing down here?" We've come to see you.
Simple intimidation. Elephants are unpredictable. Now that the sun is shining once again, the elephants all come out of the forest. Tempe spends days on end observing their behavior.
You can't find a more beautiful sight than this, hey? This is paradise. If they just, look at them, they're just so magnificent. Every single time. It's like seeing good friends. Just these mature females, they're just, yeah, they're so unperturbed with us, and they've got the really, really tiny young calf, so often they'll be quite cautious when they've got a really tiny youngster, but not at all here. I mean, they're so comfortable. And they've come out, which is really lovely. Just as the rain stopped, they just came down onto the floodplain. And, oh, look, there's the youngster.
In The Roots of Heaven, the French novelist Romain Gary writes that elephants are the most beautiful and noble manifestation of life.
I live the dream. I get to be out here in paradise watching these incredible animals. Absolutely be exactly the kind of animals they're meant to be, and they're, you know, it's completely, I'm speechless basically. And every day I have a moment absolutely every day when I live here of just going, wow, just total wow. I'm so content and so appreciative that I could be here.
Tempe is often on her own and is so passionate about her work that she has no qualms about spending a night out among wild animals.
I think it's honestly one of the biggest adrenaline rushes you can ever have, in a way that it reminds you of what it is to be human, and you get a primitive feeling. You're no longer the dominant. You're sitting out here, you're surrounded by wild animals, and you have to be respectful of them, and you are vulnerable here, especially at nighttime in the dark. And I think that feeling that it gives you is one of the best feelings in the world. It's a friendly reminder of our place, and I find that is something I think I'm quite addicted to.
The region where the Chobe River flows into the Zambezi borders 4 countries: Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Botswana. It's a major crossroads for trade and migration. 20,000 people share the area with thousands of elephants.
See how the fences are destroyed there? They come across the road, climb into the fences there, then walk or see there's no fence this side. Then they eat the fruits, the trees, so the elephants.
Tempe's friends nicknamed her Miss Elephant. Today, Stephen, a former safari guide turned filmmaker, is strolling the streets of Kazane with her. He's preparing a film on the coexistence between humans and wild animals.
No. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, my goodness me, you have beautiful grass here.
Thank you.
Do you have a problem with the elephants here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
And it's a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah. So how often do you think they come in?
Sometimes they come every day, sometimes twice in a week. It depends.
It depends on the time of year,
Yeah.
if it's dry season or
Yeah.
wet season. Yeah. Wow.
Are you scared when they come in?
Yes, oh, my friend, yes, I'm scared because that thing is big. Oh.
And how do you make it go away?
I just run in the house, then I start clapping my hands, and then they run away.
Do they run away when you clap?
Yes.
They do. Yeah.
Sound makes them go away.
This coexistence can be problematic, but Tempe would like to convince all the inhabitants that it is possible to live in harmony with the elephants. Here in Kazane, corridors crossing the inhabited zones have already been cleared to allow the animals access to their watering holes. The
wildlife's really clever because the Botswana side is actually a protected forestry reserve, but on the Zimbabwe side it's a hunting concession. And obviously hunting is seasonal, so the wildlife will move between depending on when the hunting season's on to when it's not. So they know where the safer haven is and when they're not going to get harassed. So they'll often just move between these borders. So when we say, you know, Botswana's elephant population or their wildlife population, it's actually they're constantly moving between the Zimbabwe and Botswana sides.
Elephants or animals have been there before. We're taking much of their territory by building more airports, more farms. We leave them with less space for food because we take up their trees, grass, and so they get confined in a small area whereby there's congestion and competition for food. That's what leads them to end up even attacking gardens or some farms for local farmers.
What I found in my work is elephants are adapting to different human practices and human behaviour, which is phenomenal. I mean, elephants know where's safe, they know where's not safe, they know when there's lots of human activity going on, they know when there's poaching, they know when there's civil war going on. I mean, we used to see a far greater movement of elephants going up into Angola, and that movement's really reducing now. And that was, I would say, would be a result of the war and the conflict that was going on there. And I think that's really the key to the future of elephants and elephant management is they are now adapting to what we do, which I think is just phenomenal. And I think that shows a lot of promise for them. I have a perfect job. The best. Living the dream. The dream came true. I'm living the dream. Yeah, it was absolutely picture perfect. Look at it. I mean, with the sunset right now and the colors and this bull just let us come all around him and he was so relaxed and just eating the grass. It was just perfection.
Elsewhere in Africa, ivory poaching and an ever-shrinking territory could mean the death knell for the nation of elephants. Tempe, 26, knows the role she will have to play in preserving this earthly paradise. From observing them in Botswana, she has learned that the elephants of Africa are indispensable for the beauty of the world.
See, across this valley, where you see these big trees across the valley starts the Kalahari. That's where we come from. Our forefathers come from there. That's where I grew up.
Prince Wright is a son of the Kalahari. This region of southern Africa, beyond the horizon of bush and savanna, is where he was born 42 years ago. Prince is passing on his love of the bush to Nimrod, his 14-year-old nephew. Now he's setting out with him on a voyage of initiation, a sort of rite of passage. It used to be that to become an adult, a young adolescent had to venture out into the bush alone and not come back to the village until he had killed an antelope.
We are close to Okavango Delta,
Okay.
and which is the Okavango Delta is still in the part of the great Kalahari Desert, okay? In the middle of Norway, the Kalahari, the wilderness.
Nimrod still has a lot to learn about the wilderness, but he dreams of the day when he'll walk in the footsteps of his uncle, one of the country's best safari guides. Prince and Nimrod are descendants of the San tribe, the original inhabitants of this part of Africa. Prince has a bit of Scottish blood flowing in his veins as well. His history parallels that of southern Africa.
And then you put your feet under the tent because we are lifting it. We start from the top, right? Okay, lift up, and here you put, and here you put, okay. I think it's okay now. I started when I was very young. I was a shy person. In the village, I didn't like much in the village. As soon as the school closes, I rushed to the Kalahari because there I was surrounded by wildlife. I was surrounded by birds. I was sort of free to be out there to see things, not to see people all the time. As I grew up, I chose to become a guide so that I can stay close to nature like I always have been when I was a kid. And now I'm living happily, being a guide, because I've pursued my dream. This is what I dreamed to be, and this is what I am.
Understanding the bush. Prince inherited that from his father and the old bushmen he grew up with. This grasp of the wild can't be learned in school, but neither is it innate.
I take a lot of time at school, so I don't have that time to go and discover and know other animals. So this time I came here to learn about how they live and to see other animals that I didn't know and to see the physical features of Botswana that are preserved for the next generations.
This world of theirs is an invaluable treasure, and Prince wants to pass it on to Nimrod and his children. Botswana is a jewel of nature, where the animals roam freely. There's no other place on Earth that offers such a lavish display of eternal Africa. Prince, who's been a guide for more than 15 years, knows Botswana's most beautiful spots. His safari season lasts 6 months. During the southern winter, he travels thousands of kilometers in the national parks and reserves, which cover a good part of the country.
Look with your binoculars, you see that small protrusion in the water there, a small... See,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's a crocodile. He's probably looking at us. One needs to have experience of the bush, and he must know what's going on around, and he must be able to tell the signs of the wild, like footprints, like sounds made by animals, like sounds made by birds, and the behavior as well, because it helps a lot if you know the behavior, then you can tell what kind of situation that animal is in. Like, for example, if you hear a squirrel say, then you know that there is something which is not right. And the squirrel can see something that you cannot see. he's not very happy with us. The teeth are a dangerous weapon. They're about, the one on the lower jaw, they are about 45 centimeters. And when they fight, they open their mouths. See, they open their mouths. A hippo can open up to 95 degrees. And they poof, like that. They can punch out on the flank of other opponents.
Nimrod pursues his apprenticeship in the savannah. Only 14 years old, and here he is feasting his eyes on nature in its purest state. For Prince and his nephew, this initiation voyage is also a way of reliving their history. The history of the San, the people of the bush, the first people of southern Africa. Their tribe of hunter-gatherers has been called those who follow the lightning, because they wander according to the availability of water and to the rhythm of the rainy season, always in search of fruit, roots, and water. Before nightfall, Prince makes a stop at the Quappa camp. He wants Nimrod to meet one of the locals, a character straight out of the pages of Rudyard Kipling. Mike Reed runs the Okavango guiding school. In the Reed family, they've been naturalists from father to son for 3 generations. Something to whet Nimrod's curiosity. The future safari specialists come here to train, just as Prince did a few years back, and as Nimrod may also someday.
We always walk with a rifle, but we walk as if we don't have a rifle. So we don't go into a danger zone of the animals. We walk so that we're still in the comfort zone and the animals are far enough away for us to make preparation to back away.
Danger is ever present in the savannah. One must stay alert. Mike knows the Quappa Reserve like the back of his hand. At nightfall, he takes Prince and Nimrod to a watering hole near the camp. Mike has assured them that it's a very popular spot with the animals.
Yeah, this is my first time. And I'm very happy to see the buffaloes.
Nimrod, are you afraid of the buffalo?
No, I'm not, sir.
Okay. It's always good to be just a little bit afraid, okay? Have some respect, because that respect and that fear is very good. It keeps you at the right distance from those animals. They're very dangerous, and provided you respect them, they will respect you. So keep your distance from them, okay? It's what we call the comfort zone. We're in the comfort zone. They are not feeling threatened by us. As soon as we go a little bit further, they will start getting nervous, and they then have either got the opportunity to flee or they can fight, and they will come at you. So you're never quite sure, so it's always good to stay in the comfort zone.
I came with my uncle, and he taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. And when I go back home, I'm gonna also tell my other friends to know about what my uncle told me here. So I'm very like
Prince and Nimrod spent the night at the foot of Tsodilo, the country's only mountain, the mountain of the gods.
There are goats all over here. You cannot see them, but they can see you. So as we walk now, we know that we are surrounded by our gods, our ancestors, and we must treat this place with respect. You see?
More than 4,000 rock paintings have been catalogued on these cliffs, the cradle of the San people. They depict scenes of prehistoric life and date back at least 25,000 years.
To the right, you see?
rhino.
A rhino. Good. You know your animals, eh?
Yeah.
And as you go up there, you see,
What's that?
a giraffe.
Oh,
But you see, it's not in the same posture as the others.
yeah.
That's a dead one.
Oh.
Yeah. You see, it's a story here. The San people believe that when God came to this side of the world, he came and landed on this mountain. That's why it's sacred. And that's why they converged here to pray to God, to paint, to do everything here. They regard this place as very, very holy for them. So whenever I'm here, I feel I belonged here, and I belong here, and in future I will always belong here. This is the place to be. There is nothing else. Right now, what I feel inside is I'm at peace with nature, just being here. That's why I brought my nephew here today, to show him what truly we are as a people and the beauty that we have, and then pass it on to the new generation.
In 2 days, Nimrod will head back to school. But his initiation to the wild world and life in the bush is not finished yet. Thanks to his uncle, Prince, he now knows that his wish to become a guide will someday come true. Gazing out of his classroom window, Nimrod, like all children of his age, is probably thinking that the wildest of dreams can, indeed, become reality. The Okavango Delta in the northwest corner of Botswana is a priceless jewel of Africa. This is where Tanik Dinonoka was born. Everyone knows him here in the village of Echa. Tanik was orphaned very young, so he and his brothers had to learn how to make their own way. He's a generous, cheerful, and resourceful man.
My name's Katanga Tonik Dinonoka. I'm born in Eta 13 village. I'm just working as a fisherman or a farmer in Eta. In the village or in the country as well, if somebody is in need, they have to ask me to assist. If possible, I can give hand. It doesn't mean that to help is money. No, it's just to give. Yes.
Tanik is a skilled jack of all trades and is always willing to lend a helping hand. Right now, it's Andrek, the village elder, who is in need of help. A few weeks ago, his farm was completely destroyed by fire, a severe blow for the 89-year-old man. Tanik has promised to build him a new hut.
This one is really deep down. There's no way I can do this on my own.
This is all that's left of Andrek's farm.
My house burned down. I don't know how it started. I was sleeping. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was so shaken I went to ask the government people for help. But I didn't get anything.
Just a few weeks ago, this looked like a normal little bush village. Then the flames did their sinister work. Tanik is trying to salvage what he can. Andrek is slowly recovering from his ordeal. He wants to start anew, look to the future, and leave this unlucky place. But without the help of a few good people, he won't be able to go back to farming.
This is an ideal spot because we're close to the river. It's not possible to live far from a river. Like all people, we need to live close to water.
Tanik will get to work in a few days once he has assembled the necessary building materials. He sets out to find the wood, the reeds, the straw, and anything else he may need to fulfill his promise. Tanik and Andrek live in the heart of a region that is one of a kind, the delta of the Okavango, a river that seems to refute the elementary laws of geography. The waters of the Okavango never reach the sea, for the river vanishes into the sands of the Kalahari Desert. Despite that, it remains the lifeblood of the men and women of the region. All they have to do is plunge into the meanders of the river to harvest what they need in the way of food, drink, and even shelter. In the Delta, the time for a fishing trip, to build a house, to start one's life over again from scratch, is not the same as elsewhere. It flows slowly with the relaxed pace of this river that turns its back on the oceans. Tonic is one of the rare inhabitants of the Okavango Delta. The Okavango is also a haven for hippos and Nile crocodiles, two of Africa's most dangerous animals.
I'm just alone here in the nature. Listen at the birds, and I can see some catfish making some bubbles, and some different birds calling around. And sometimes maybe there are some crocodiles here. I don't want to disturb them, and I don't like them to see me because I'm alone here. Today I'm very lucky because I can see I had 3 fish and 1 bubble fish, which means I had a lot. There was nothing which like crocodiles and hippo which was disturbed my net. You can see it is very free and it catch lots of fish, nothing was disturbing it.
The calm, clear waters of the Delta are teeming with fish. Tonic takes only enough to meet his needs. He's not a professional fisherman, so he's not allowed to sell or barter his catch.
The Delta, it supplies us with a lot of things. Like with our building materials, we get it from or in the Delta, like reeds to make our traditional walls, our compound, the grasses to thatch our house, even our transport, the mukoro. We use the water from the Delta to drive from one area to the other to fetch all those materials which are needed in our place.
Tonic and Andrek have come to this village to buy bundles of straw gathered by the women during the last rainy season. This little village of the Okavango is specialized in basketry and straw for thatching roofs. The sun is blazing and all the vendors are eager to show Tonic their goods.
I'm looking for some grasses which I can use to thatch the old man's house. And while I'm looking at the grasses, some they are okay, some they are worn up or tattered up. You can even see the inner part of it, but it's okay. We can take some which are good and we leave those ones which are not good to be used to thatch the house.
In the shade of the acacia trees, Tonic and the vendors plunge into their bargaining session. Maria, who speaks for the other women, manages the negotiations, and she's determined to get a decent price for their hard work.
I think this one is good. Okay, some are really short. That's because they were eaten by termites. This one is no good at all, but the rest is all right.
31. How many did you give? 14. And you? 10. And 7 here. That makes how many in all?
Tonic needs about 30 bundles of straw to thatch the roof. That'll bring in a tidy sum for the village. The wood, reeds, and straw, Tonic has just about everything he needs. Now he and Andrek will have to recruit some manpower for the actual building. 3 or 4 experienced men can erect the roof of a traditional hut in 5 days. Andrek is the oldest man in the village. He has the gift of never losing hope. Plus, he has the power to ward off bad luck and to predict the future. It's up to him and fate to choose the site for his new home. With his misfortune behind him, life should resume its normal course on the banks of the wide, generous river. And here's the outline of Andrek's new hut, a few hundred meters from his old farm.
Okay.
Evil spirits exist, and I don't like that. I have a lot of children, 12 in all, and they have children. So if one of my grandchildren should get really sick someday, their parents would be suspicious if I didn't move away. If they were to have problems later on, my children would say it's the old man's fault.
The workers keep up a good pace despite the scorching sun. Tonic throws himself into his work. Andrek has left the evil spirits behind. Tonic has recruited 2 colleagues to help him, Love Moore and Jimbo, both sympathetic to old Andrek's plight. It's the evening of the 3rd day. They've laid the foundation and erected the framework.
Yeah, I'm very proud of what I did. So this is one of the very best house that I normally build, but it's the best when I'm looking at the pay lines. They are very, very well prepared. Even looking at the structure is very nice.
This evening, the silence of the dusk is pierced by the beating of drums and the singing of women. It's the beginning of winter in Botswana. This celebration marks the end of the rainy season. Tonic has earned the right to have a good time tonight, for he's dancing to celebrate the promise he made to Andrek as well. In a few days, the hut will be completed, but there's still a lot of work to do. The building crew is busy roofing the hut. Once again, Tonic has proved that he is a man of his word. And in a few days, Andrek will have a new hut, the first of his future farm.
Mr. Andrek will remember me in the future as his son who helped her to make the first house in a new place. So that people who are going around here, they can see it in their face and see how nice the house is. Then they will be happy. Maybe sometime they will hire me to come and do the traditional house for them.
Here in the heart of the Delta, this kind of solidarity is widespread. In this corner of Africa where man's wealth is not measured by his possessions, a great friendship has just been sealed between an orphan and an old man of the Okavango.